Which is why हर कोई पी रहा Lahori Zeera.
हर कोई पी रहा Lahori Zeera.
That is such a wonderful line.
It's just simple. It's straight, on point. The product. So क्या है कि अब now 5-6 years into business, there is product velocity. You've understood. People product market fit just हो गया, justify हो गया. Everybody understands, loves the product. There is volumes now. Now is the time when we go for our first ATL campaign. अभी आपको ब्रांड बनाना है. ब्रांड कैसे बनता है? ब्रांड तो हम स्टार्टिंग से बना रहे हैं. एनी कम्युनिकेशन दैट द प्रोडक्ट और द एम्प्लॉयर you have with any of your stakeholder, that is all part of the branding. Not just advertising is branding. We were not just advertising because we did not have the money. Every money that we made was being flowed back into the system to increase our production capabilities. Simple si baat. When we got the capital that we needed from very mature investors, that is Verlinvest and Motilal Oswal. After that, we got volumes. Volumes ke baad, then we had to build awareness. That is out and out branding, advertising exercise. अभी आपने पहली बार ये करना. How do you go about it? Your competition is basically with the biggest spenders of the world. And you are given a limited budget कि यार इसके अंदर करना. How do you justify it? How do you compete with them? And then eventually, whether you like it or not, you're in the same industry, you're competing with them. So anything that you produce is going to be compared, whether you like it or not. And with you don't have the money to sign a face, a beautiful model, a good face. How do you go about it? That is when we thought it is intimidating to build a brand without any resources and to compete with the biggest of the world. And that is when we thought we need to build. Every brand in this space is larger than life. It's aspirational, it's larger than life. We wanted authenticity. Our product is authentic. Our distribution is authentic. So we thought our brand should be authentic as well. And therefore, what brings authenticity better than the consumers themselves? So our first campaign was not focused on models or faces. It was focused on everyday Indians. Those Indians, the fun part, because the brand there is a fun element to this brand. The fun part was the moment or the occasion of consumption. That is how we got the fun into real everyday Indians consuming the product.
मसालेदार मजेदार हर कोई पी रहा लाहौरी ज़ीरा.
And that insight and that beautiful creation got us the award for the best TV campaign of the year. Wow. And it is not an award by those self-nominated, paid for awards. It's not something like that. It was an association which does not even take nomination. They just come. It's an across the globe association that acknowledges and credits these campaigns. And it was handed over by the chairman of Dabur, and the email came from Hindustan Unilever managing director.
Wow.
It was such a beautiful room with really heavy weights, and we were like, hum kahan aa gaye? And we were so overwhelmed by the whole experience because of such magnanimous personalities that were there in the room. We thought, we did a decent job.
And Nike did something very similar with Find Your Greatness campaign.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So how did you arrive at that insight? That, okay, now I understand that you also arrived at that insight
because of lack of resources. That's...
And when you approached that campaign, what was the thinking behind it after you decided on the theme of the campaign? Common man ko use karna hai, Lahori Zeera pilana hai. Then what happened?
The occasions. I think what we needed to focus on was that our commercials should be relatable. There should be a real conversation that we need to have through jumping mountains is not who we are.
Yeah.
It doesn't make sense to us. We cannot get the services of large faces. We knew this. So because of these constraints, the only thing that we could think of is that we are as authentic as it comes when it comes to a brand, right? Let's get real faces. The fun element is going to be via the occasion, because imagine yourself, you're swimming and you're consuming Lahori Zeera or changing a t-shirt and still taking a sip of Lahori Zeera. You're always like this. These are just fun occasions. The idea eventually, basically, it came out of constraints. We had no options. We needed to make it fun, and we wanted to have a real conversation with the consumer who's actually consuming that content in whatever form or way. बस वो वहीं से निकल के आया.
Got it. You know, Kishore Biani told me that if you have to make an extremely relatable ad, you must understand the ritual of consumption of your customers. When a customer consumes a product, they always have a ritual. For example, Maggie, children go to school, when they come back, mom makes Maggie. That's a ritual. So if the marketing campaign echoes that ritual, it resonates with the audience. Sure. Therefore, the audience fall in love with the product. Similarly, if you look at Lays, when you're watching a football match, you consume Lays non-stop, right? And when that is put out, the audience is able to resonate
with it. Yeah.
If you look at Nike shoes, in the morning, when it is very, very painful to get up and still you show up, that feeling is what Nike wants to give you. Sure. During that feeling, Nike wants to be with you. So that's a ritual, right? In your case, what was the ritual of consumption? And how did you discover it?
So funny how when you say that, we never thought of it like that. It's counterintuitive, but we actually played a lot with it. While swimming, nobody consumes Lahori Zeera. A guy actually doing a pull-up with a single hand because the other hand is busy, he's sipping Lahori Zeera. Nobody does that. We actually played around and we fooled around a lot with it just to get that fun element. For us, I think the ritual is we are Desh ka Thanda. We are just the go-to drink when it comes to. So the ritual is generally Zeera water. So post-meal just makes you feel comfortable and lighter. And it is a refresher. So on-the-go consumption, there's so many occasions of consumption that there can't be one ritual that can be encapsulated. The next actually TV commercial should focus on the rituals only as to what are the occasions. We've just played around or fooled around so much with them. It's a great idea, great insight for me to take away from now. Figure out those rituals, but mostly it is during meal or post-heat consumption is what really is when the consumption is really happening.
Got it. Almost like Thanda matlab Coca-Cola. Right? Amir Khan in the middle of summer going to a cafe and asking for, "Arey, kuch thanda dena?" And the shopkeeper hands over a Coca-Cola. Wow.
But wo purana to unhone chhod diya.
Yeah.
Now it's apna desi thanda.
Correct. That's very interesting, man.
So what I was trying to get at is that our distribution, the choice of distribution when it comes to marketing is extremely innovative. And as a matter of fact, when I come to think about how we approach life in general, we believe genuinely that as a startup, not just India, globally, if you are a startup, your right to survival is being innovative. Your innovation is not a choice. It is a must. Because if you're not innovative, then you're not challenging the incumbents. And if you just follow that path, those guys have the scale, the might, and the know-how that we will never have. Right? तो आप उस रास्ते पे चल के तो कभी आप आगे नहीं बढ़ पाओगे. अगर आपको eventually you have to compete with somebody who's been doing this for a while, how can you compete with Sachin Tendulkar? You cannot.
Yeah.
So you compete with Sachin Tendulkar in any game other than cricket. Then it's a fair battle. You have to innovate, right? You have to change the sport. So this is how we sort of go about the exact thought process कि यार अब जैसे IPL है, I can't afford IPL. If I just do IPL, that is it. खत्म. सारा बजट खत्म. उसमें भी IPL के अंदर क्या होता है? Folks come with large monies, right? You come up with small money and you exhaust everything. ना तो आपको visibility मिली because that large fellow will have far more visibility, and then you're competing for eyeballs where everybody wants to watch cricket. You're trying to get their attention for something else. So we just stay away from such expensive things. India के अंदर दो चीजें startups को नहीं करनी चाहिए मुझे लगता है. एक Bollywood, एक cricket. दोनों इतने महंगे हैं that you exhaust a lot of money, right?
But does it work though?
I'm sure it does. I mean, look at all these people spending so much. We've never spent on either of the two things.
Okay.
We've just stayed very innovative. We would just do things, one-off things. We would just do things which are not so common, not so obvious, not expected from us. We would take a fewer swings, a fewer shots, but large swings. at the end of the day, as I said, we always wanted to be in the white space of aspiration and authenticity. Now, क्या खाली authentic होने से solution निकलेगा नहीं. The consumers of Lahori Zeera should feel cool about consuming it, right? वो ऐसे छुप छुप के पिए कि अच्छा है लेकिन मैं दिखाऊंगा नहीं कि because it's not cool is not what I want them to feel, right? So that aspiration feeling. तो इसलिए we do few things, but aspirational things. So like for example, we took the front page of Times of India and उसके ऊपर Times of India की जगह we changed it to the Thanda of India.
You can do that?
Yeah, we did that. It was beautiful and everybody loved it. तो ऐसे थोड़ी चीजें करते हैं. हम कभी print नहीं करते क्योंकि print भी it comes at a cost and you are just trying to get their attention in a space जहाँ पे बहुत सारे लोग already बहुत कुछ कर रहे हैं. This is an eye opener. And we generally like to sort of celebrate India at any and every occasion. So generally we do it either on the 15th of August or 26th of January.
Hi guys, if you loved watching this clip and if you want to do a deep dive into the podcast, we've mentioned the link in the description. So click that link, watch that podcast and take notes. Thank you for watching and subscribe for more clips.